Guys, if we're going to remove hats, please. Once again, same rules. Please turn off your phones, and we'll start with a comment from Coach Fox.
Well, the end of the season, it stinks. And it's especially hard when you have such a great group of kids. I probably not one of our most talented teams that we've had at UNC, but perhaps our most unselfish, toughest, grittiest, just determined to get here. And this is, for me personally, this has probably been one of the most fun seasons I've had, because this team has just been so easy to coach. And these two guys up here and the rest of them, they were so much fun to be around every day. And just sorry that we just couldn't get it done, but obviously I want to credit Pat and his team. They just they played extremely well tonight, especially down the stretch, and they have a great team. So hopefully we're going to do everything we can to get back here again.
We'll start here. Questions for the student athletes, please.
Greg Barnes in South Carolina. Kyle and Zach, the coaching staff has talked a lot this year about how special of a group that this is. Can you kind of put into words what this season has meant to you?
I don't think words can really describe how much these guys mean to me. I want to thank Coach first. Just thank you for all you do and the opportunities you gave me. Coming back to school was probably the best decision I've ever made, and I wanted to get these guys back to Omaha, and we made it. These guys are unbelievable in the locker room. A great group to be around. Words can't really describe how much I love these guys and how much they mean to me.
For me, I guess just growing up watching Carolina baseball, they're in Omaha every year. And when I came in here the first couple of years, it wasn't what Carolina was all about. And to be able to get them back here and where we belong in Omaha and go out the way that we did says a lot. And I think you're going to see a lot more of the Tar Heels in the next couple of years.
Okay. Over here. Yeah.
Pat James, GoHeels.com. Zach, kind of going off what Kyle just said, I mean, looking at what this team's accomplished this year, I mean, how anxious are you kind of look forward to see how the next group kind of builds off this going forward?
I think this is a big momentum for the Carolina Tar Heels, and like he said, I mean, this is what we come here to do, and sorry. These guys just mean a lot to me. I just hope the best for them in years coming. I'm sorry.
Let's move on. Aaron.
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. Kyle, you guys fell behind early and fought back, took the lead, and, even after that 8th inning, you guys had another opportunity. Some of this team never gave up, and I'm sure it got frustrating late when, the floodgates kind of open on you. But how proud are you of the effort that, this team showed today?
Yeah, like Coach said, I mean, we're not the most talented group, but we got a lot of heart, and we're not going away easy. So, we just kept going, and they punched us early, but I had full confidence in the guys that we would come back at them, and that's what we did. So we didn't go away easy.
Any more questions for the student athletes? And we will excuse you. Thank you, guys. Congratulations on the season. We started here, right here.
Jonathan Alexander, News and Observer. Coach, what did you share to your boys in the locker room after the game?
I haven't I haven't talked to the team. They've all been in the dugout, just kind of individually. There's not a whole lot, right between the end of the game and the end of our season, and a lot of these kids into their Carolina career. There's not a lot you can say to them, but just put your arm around them right now. It's a extremely emotional time. All of us remember our last game, and it's hard. This is the hardest part of coaching. Is the end. It's just the hardest part because you're not going to have these kids, this group of kids. You're not going to have them. You're not going to have them again. And it's hard if you're not with them every day. You're not in the locker room. You're not around them every day. It's impossible for me to sit up here and describe this group. It's that's my 35th year of coaching, so every team is different. This one just had something. I think it had a lot to do with with last year, and Brandon Riley told me that he woke up in the middle of the night and had nightmares, after we lost last year, sliding into home, just what he could have done different and could he have slid different. And I didn't find that out until later. And he said it took him almost all summer to get over that loss. And he won't stop crying, he and KD, and I think that just shows you the emotion. And I'm probably I'm happy for all of them, but I think Michael Bush apologized to me last year, after we lost in our regional, and I'm like, he's a freshman, and I'm like I just think back to those moments now as to why we ended up here. I think those kids came back in the fall, and there was nothing that was going to get in their way of getting us back here. And I think this group will be able to hang their hat on that, and especially Zach and Brett Daniels and these guys up here. So that's a long answer, but I'm really bad at end of the year talks to the team. I'd just rather do it individually.
Okay, Greg.
Mike, Caden was kind of cruising there in the middle parts of the game. What went into the decision there in the eighth to pull him after that?
Yeah, he was done. That's probably the longest outing he's had. And we kept asking him, how he felt, and we could sort of see. He was lights out for us. Wow. You got to really be good to hold that team down. Like he did, you got to really be good. Pitch to both sides of the plate to change up, and for I guess 4 1/3, it's about as good as you probably can pitch against them if I had to guess. So he's just it's just a matter. He was out of gas.
Okay, Mitch.
Mitch Sherman, ESPN.com. In the eighth, with one out and the bases loaded, there's probably not any great way to attack Adley Rutschman. What do you do in that situation? Looking back, what can you do in that situation against a guy who's swinging it the way that he is?
Yeah, well, first of all, try not to get in that situation, and we're playing no doubles there, but that ball got out on the warning track in about 2 seconds. So we would have had to been literally playing on the warning track to have a shot, to to catch that ball. We're looking out there going, do we have our outfielders deep enough? Because obviously you're playing no doubles. You're trying to prevent them from tying the game there. But, you got to give him credit. I mean, he put a good swing on it.
Okay, Mike.
Michael Ladana, Baseball America. The coach, you were talking about after the Super Regional how, none of these players had ever been here before. Now they've been here. You see some of the freshmen like Caden have that performance today, and, underclassmen like Michael Bush and are going to be back next year. How does this experience help these guys next year and going forward?
Well, I mean, you hope that obviously it will. I mean, you can't practice this or put this in a picture. I mean, you got to experience this, just fully, and now they have. So hopefully it works like some other teams we've had where they know what it feels like to be here and the experience and the atmosphere and all that, and that'll be the powerful motivator as we start next year.
Greg.
Mike, Zach, and Brett kind of have the unique story of not going to the tournament early in their careers and kind of being those key leaders this year to get back here. How did you see them change in terms of maturity and their leadership ability and kind of what this season meant to them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I appreciate you asking that because that's the key. I mean, it wasn't just them, but obviously those were our two seniors, and I think they just they learned from watching, from freshmen, all the way through like right now, and you learn by observing and hopefully listening and growing up and watching others and other players that do the right thing, the ones that don't do the right things, and the leaders and the good ones, and that's what a coach has to have. You have to have players that'll do that and help you, and they help me. I mean, these kids really help me. They help the other coaches. They made it easy. They made it easy because they got it. They just got it. And I just want kids that have respect for being at the University of North Carolina. Tell them that all the time. This is a special place, and you need to respect being here, and act right, do what we ask, represent our program well, and graduate, get your degree, and help us win a few games along the way. It sounds pretty easy, but all these kids have done that. So that makes them special in my book.
Okay, any more questions for Mike? If not, again, congratulations.
Okay, thank you. Always good to see you.
Mike, thank you.
Thank you.